Hello, welcome back. It's Paul again. Today, 5 resilience activities for training sessions. Let's get straight into it. Well, let's look first. We're going to do resilience role models, knowing your strengths, 10 good things, resilience rescue mission, and funny stories, resilience version. These are the 5 activities that we're going to go through. Let's get straight into it. Activity number 1, resilience role models. So you could allow 20 minutes for this, but as always, if you want to adapt it into a 15 or 25 minute activity, you can easily do that. And what you want participants to do is think of a role model, somebody they really look up to, that they admire. Specifically, it has to be somebody that they think is very resilient, very strong and very resilient. So it could be somebody from TV that they've seen on TV or movies, or a sports star, someone they know, someone such as a teacher or family member, somebody they work with, a manager at work. It's up to them, of course. And what they're going to have to do is write down the person's name, the challenges that they would say that the person has faced and overcome, like what has made them resilient, and what this person has done and achieved, and what qualities and personality traits do the participants in your workshop, what qualities and personality traits do they consider that this role model has? So you want them to spend time writing all of this down. And after the 15 or 20 minutes, you could get each participant to explain to the rest of the class who they've chosen and why. But there should be emphasis on the resilience. What makes this person a strong, resilient individual? And what can we learn about this person? That's activity number 1, the resilience role models. Activity number 2, knowing your strengths. So this is Valeria here of Simmons Research, and she's looking like muscular and strong there. But so this isn't, of course, about muscular strength. This is about strengths in terms of our skills and ability. So for this activity, you can allow 25 minutes, but 20, 25, 30 is good. And I think the easiest way to show you this activity is by going onto the website where I've done the resilience activities, and I can explain to you there. Let's pop across to the blog post on this. Okay, here we are on Simmons Research. Let's go to the top and click on free resources, click on free training activities. In fact, you can see there we've got all like the leadership activities, body language activities, a lot of different ones. Let's go down to resilience activities, click on that, and now I'm going to click on know your strengths. Here we go, activity number 3 on the actual blog post. So what we're going to do is hand the participants a printed questionnaire, and I suggest putting 10 questions on it. I've written 5 example questions here on the blog post. By the way, for this blog post, for this specific blog post, I'll put the link below this video. So an example is, how do I typically react when faced with unexpected changes or setbacks? Or what positive feedback do you consistently receive from others? Or what changes can I make to strengthen my resilience moving forward? So you can have 10 questions, and you want the participants to write an answer to each of these questions. So once they've completed this part of the task, and I would suggest allowing like 10 or 15 minutes for that, you're now going to ask them to reflect on the following questions. Which strengths surprised you? What benefits have these strengths given you in the past? How can you use these strengths more effectively in your personal and professional life moving forward? So you want the participants to write down the reflections and insights to these new questions. And this is all about, of course, resilience. We want them to reflect on the strengths they already have, the strengths that they sometimes don't even realize or think about, but they have, that make them strong and positive moving forward. So what you want to do next then is put people into pairs, and in their pairs they are going to explain to each other their top strengths and their reflections on these strengths. So allow 5 minutes for the pairs to work on this task. At the end of this, I would allow another 10 minutes if you have time for a class discussion. Okay, let's go to activity number 3 now. 10 good things. So you could allow, let's say, 15 minutes for this activity, and it's quite a simple, but it's a thought-provoking activity. So you want the participants in the workshop to write down 10 things that they've achieved in the last week. Let me pop across to the post again. So here I've written it as 5 things, but I actually I think it's better to do 10 things. So it could be things such as I talked to someone new last week, I learned 3 new words in Italian, I ran a 5K, I completed my Excel training. It doesn't have to be huge things, but achievements, things that still are very positive. Now after this, you're going to allow 5 minutes for people to work in pairs to discuss with each other the achievements that they wrote down. We quite often remember the negative things, the things that we worry about, but we need to focus also on these positive things and build up a very positive picture of what we do achieve on a daily, on a weekly basis, and use this to move forward as a platform for moving forward. Number 4, resilience rescue mission. So let's start by putting people into groups of 4 or 5. And then what we want is for those groups to talk together, the people in the group to talk together, and they have to come up with the challenge that one of them has faced in the last week. So together they'll choose which challenge they will use moving forward in this activity. And then they're going to spend 10 minutes together as a group to think of possible solutions. So tell them to be creative, think outside the box, come up with a bunch of different possible solutions. They are then going to spend 10 minutes to go through each of these possible solutions and talk about what resources would be required, how long would it take time-wise, and what is the overall feasibility of each solution. They're going to come up with one choice. What is the best solution to the challenge that they tackled? Activity number 5, funny stories, the resilience version. A lot of studies have shown that laughter and humor and being able to look at things from a light perspective really helps resilience. Rather than dwelling on the negative things, if we can laugh at things and just see the positiveness, it really helps us to be resilient and strong as we move forward. So we want each participant to think of a funny story or experience that they've had, that they've seen. In fact, they're going to write down the expanded version of this story. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to go back to the blog post. So here we are back on the website, funny stories. Let's just go down a little bit. So it can be anything, whether it's something hilarious that they saw on TV, something they read about, something they saw on YouTube or TV, something funny that happened at work. It's up to them. I've written down here on the blog post that you should do 2 ideas. Let's stick with one idea, keep it simple. So instead of writing the very basic thing that they saw, like I saw a funny video, they should write, I watched a video of a cat trying to jump onto a counter, missing, and then landing on top of a plant. And I saw it on YouTube and it made me laugh with tears in my eyes. So we want this kind of detailed sentence explaining exactly what it is. So they need to write that down. And then once they've written this down, they need to then spend 5 minutes reflecting on how this experience made them feel. So we want more detail. So did it make them laugh out aloud? And why in particular did they find it funny? So was it the surprise element? Was it because of the timing? Was it the context? The participants need to write these things down. And they're going to say, for example, I found the cat video funny because it was unexpected and the cat's reaction was so dramatic. Next, put participants into groups of 4 people in each group and have each person share their experience with the rest of their group. So let's remember, humor and laughter can contribute to a positive mindset and enhance resilience. While I'm here, actually, there you can also see the resilience training materials that we sell. If you're a teacher or a trainer and you're teaching resilience in the workplace, you can get the training course materials, which are instantly downloadable with the PowerPoint slides, etc., etc. Let's go back to the PowerPoint that we're using for these activities. So there we have it with activity number 5. In the next video, we're going to be talking about overcoming limiting beliefs. So this is when things block us from progressing. That's going to be a good video. That's going to be the next video. Thank you so much.